These are the stories making the headlines in the Hot 7 Nightly News.
The mother of a young woman who was murdered back in 2015 is making a call for justice for her daughter and the recently slain woman, Kimberly Williams de Leon. The Ministry of Infrastructure continues its comprehensive road marking program for safer streets. And look out, St. Lucia. The Cultural Development Foundation promises to bring back joy this Christmas season during the annual December festivals. We have the details of these stories and more coming up.
This is the Hot 7 Nightly News with Lovely and Amy Joseph.
Good evening. It is Thursday, the 8th of November, 2018. Welcome to the Hot 7 Nightly News. I am Lovely St. Amy Joseph. Camille Ogis, the mother of murder victim Yana Ogis, is speaking out amidst the recent killing of Kimberly Williams de Leon. Ogis was killed back in 2015 and her case remains unsolved by law enforcement. The mother of the deceased stressed to Hot 7 TV that enough is not being done with regard to the investigation of gender-based crimes. Solange Alfred reports.
The Royal St. Lucia Police Force has come under heavy scrutiny by members of society who are insisting that enough is not being done in the investigation of gender-based crimes and crimes against women. The recent murder of Kimberly Williams de Leon, a mother of two, which sent shockwaves throughout the nation, has torn a scab of an old wound for one mother who lost her daughter back in 2015 and has yet to receive justice for the murder of Yana Ogis. A still mournful Camille Ogis spoke with Hot 7 TV to provide an update on investigations into her daughter's death.
Nothing has been done about crime, the women's gender. Nothing has been done because it's 3 years since my daughter died, and I've been calling the police all the time to ask them what is going on. They always tell me that the case is still open, they have not gotten everything yet. So we're just there waiting. I call them every month to find out what is going on.
The body of Ogis was found near the wreckage of her vehicle at the bottom of Anne Chasney Hill in Soufrière, and her death was initially thought to be as a result of a vehicular accident. However, post-mortem results indicated the true cause of her death to be a physical trauma and asphyxia. The mother of the victim expressed that the pain of losing a child in such a way never goes away.
Up to now, we still miss her because she was such a loving person. She was very, very friendly with everybody. And we miss her a lot. Very, very much.
Ogis expressed her dissatisfaction with the close rate of criminal investigations on the island, stating that a possible lack of crucial resources may be the reason that crimes go unsolved.
Don't tell me that not one of those crimes are being solved. Not one. So what I'm saying is maybe the police don't have all the things they're supposed to have to catch the perpetrators. And I see them because the police have an idea who do it. But they're not telling me who.
The murder of Yana Ogis remains an open investigation. Reporting for Hot 7 TV, I am Solange Alfred.
Meantime, human rights advocate Mary Francis believes there should be an independent investigation into the murder of Kimberly Williams de Leon. Francis says she has her suspicions about the incident, and she declared that the wool has been pulled over the eyes of St. Lucians for too long. St. Lucia is the recipient of funding in the sum of $5 million for the development and implementation of Medium-Term Development Strategy 2019 to 2022. The funding comes from the Caribbean Development Bank. Rochelle Gonzalez has more in this report.
A grant of $5 million has been donated to St. Lucia by the Caribbean Development Bank to be used towards the development and implementation of a medium-term development strategy for the years 2019 through to 2022, otherwise known as the St. Lucia Social and Economic Labs. The launch was held at the Urinora House this week and included a presentation by Director of Economics at the Caribbean Development Bank, Dr. Justin Ram. Dr. Ram called the labs a pioneering time for the CDB's proud member countries.
St. Lucia being the first country to go ahead and implement what we believe to be an outstanding methodology to improve implementation rates for public sector projects and policies. Now, back in May of this year, under the patronage of the Honorable Prime Minister Alain Chastanet and members of his cabinet, we hosted a cabinet retreat with all of the cabinet ministers and with consultants from Paymandu out of Malaysia, under the guidance of their head, Sri Idris Jala, to go through with the St. Lucian cabinet what are the likely priorities for St. Lucia over the next 5 years or so.
Dr. Ram said the cabinet identified 6 key areas, namely social issues, healthcare, education, and crime, as well as tourism, agriculture, and infrastructure. He said coming out of the cabinet retreat, there is now a clear mandate as to what their priorities are in St. Lucia over the medium term.
The next phase of this process is how do you go about implementing projects and policies that would improve outcome in each of those 6 key areas. And what we did last week, through the careful guidance of P.S. Dalsu and his team in St. Lucia, we have now approved financing to St. Lucia to support this program. Now, this program will involve, and I know you're going to hear more about it soon, but it now involves what's called laboratories, whereby key officials from government, from the private sector, from civil society, will be gathered together for a few weeks at a time to work on these priority areas to see how these can be implemented and to develop implementation plans.
Once plans to tackle said priorities are drafted, Dr. Ram said, they will be presented to the public so that they could be made aware of what all those involved in the planning phase have come up with and provide feedback and population consensus. Reporting for Hot 7 Nightly News, I am Rochelle Gonzalez.
The Ministry of Infrastructure, Ports and Energy is looking to undertake road markings from Groseley to Castries and is asking pedestrians and motorists for full cooperation. This endeavor is in line with the ministry's mandate of creation of safer road networks on island.
Traversing the roads of St. Lucia can be a difficult and dangerous task, and in an effort to maximize the level of safety of the road networks, the Ministry of Infrastructure, Ports and Energy is gearing up to commence road markings. Speaking with civil engineer in the Ministry of Infrastructure, Sherman Sylvester, he highlighted to Hot 7 News the areas that will be receiving the necessary markings.
These markings will be undertaken from Groseley to Castries, that is along the Castries-Groseley highway from the gap entering into Groseley a little further north up to the speed bump by the Groseley Polyclinic. It will go down to the Castries-Groseley highway all the way to John Compton Highway, which is at the VG roundabout. From the VG roundabout, we will be remarking all the way onto Jeremy Street. Then a section of Jeremy Street will also be marked. That is the section towards the customs area there, Manuel Street. From Manuel Street, we will be going on to the Inner Relief Road, which is that area near the bridge near the St. Lucia ANC Ports Authority, near the traffic lights. And then we will continue marking all the way up to the roundabout at the Bannans area.
The Department of Infrastructure, Ports and Energy wishes to apologize for the inconvenience which may arise from the road works as they continue implementing projects intended to improve road safety and reduce the number of vehicular accidents on the island.
Any works being undertaken on the road will affect motorists and pedestrians, sometimes significantly, sometimes not necessarily that significant. So since the markings will undertake all markings, that is including the center line, the edge line, the pedestrian crossings, the speed bumps, the arrows, the hatch lines that are currently on the road, we'll be remarking all of them. So we will be in some instances having motorists to slow down or reduction to probably a single lane for a few moments, and we'll be using cones and signs to alert everyone. However, we will be attempting to mark during the times when it's not peak time for traffic movement, so that is what we are aiming to do.
Speaking with Sylvester, Hot 7 News received information on the continued vehicular guardrail project, which will soon be implemented at decisive points along the West Coast road system. Hot 7 TV sought to find out whether or not vehicular guardrails would be placed along the West Coast in the vicinity where prominent Calypso queen Johnny Williams lost her life in 2004, where she plunged nearly 300 feet down an embankment.
For 10 years since we had that fatal accident there, and this area has remained in the same state, unprotected. And it's been a number of years now. The technical part of the Department of Infrastructure have been aiming to install guardrails at this location. We're very happy that finally we were able to procure it, that the Department of Finance saw it fitting that we were able to purchase these guardrails, and we're very excited about placing those guardrails in that particular location and other locations which look very precarious and dangerous to us, all of us St. Lucians.
These works will be undertaken during the months of November and December. Reporting for Hot 7 TV, I am Solaj Alfred.
The Micro, Small and Medium-Sized Finance Symposium, spearheaded by the Ministry of Commerce and CBDC, got underway on Thursday, where business owners and aspiring business owners were enlightened on the various financial instruments available to them and opportunities for business owners to access such instruments. More in this report.
Business Month has kicked into full gear, and the Ministry of Commerce and the SBDC have planned a number of events to inform business-minded individuals to the best business practice standards. Working under the theme Enterprise, Sustainability, People, Planet and Profit, the organizations have facilitated a symposium for micro, small and medium-sized businesses to learn more about commerce. Hot 7 News caught up with Director of the Small Business Development Center, Barbara Innocent Charles, who divulged that in their fourth year of hosting this symposium, she hopes for the continued transfer of knowledge from financial centers and relevant business development partners to be passed on to seasoned and budding business minds.
Businesses have challenged, they complain of challenges accessing the finance from the institutions, and the lenders will tell you, well, most times the applicants do not come prepared in terms of having the adequate collateral, having the documents in place, you know. So we want to address that situation. I mean, and we've come a long way. And with this session, this year, we are focusing on letting the business sector understand what are the types and sources of financing that's out there, and in order for them to achieve the strategic goals that they have for their businesses.
Kasim James, representative for Amazonia Adventures, a small tour company that offers patrons unique getaways on the island, believes that the facilitation of the MSME Finance Symposium is necessary for the networking of like-minded business owners and will go a long way in educating entrepreneurs in gaining a better understanding of the business world.
Well, it's very beneficial, first of all, for you to have an understanding of what a business requires, you know, for it to be just from your idea, from just registering your company to actually having a business, a company, a corporation. So sitting there, hearing the presentations, it makes you think about your business, what you can apply, the levels you want to get to, and also to see what's available with the financial institutions in St. Lucia.
The session was attended by many micro, small and medium-sized business owners who gained relevant information in the field of finance and enterprise sustainability. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Solaj Alfred.
This is the Hot 7 Nightly News. Still to come, the Cultural Development Foundation unveils the calendar of events for the December festivals, and the play promises to capture its audience by focusing on real-life situations. Stay with us.